Hey guys, and welcome back to Irma Sofra. Today I'm going to be showing you a very easy, perfect for beginners dessert with Rozen Kore. Rozen, just sheets of cake. Super easy to make, perfect for the holidays that are coming up, so stay tuned for my recipe. So we begin with the filling. I have 2 cups of milk on my stovetop with some sugar, and I have that on medium heat, and I'm just waiting for that to heat through. While that's heating, I have 2 vanilla packets and a cup and a half of milk right there, and I'm just going to mix that together until everything is fully combined. And then once that milk gets a little warm, I'm going to add a stick of butter that I've just cut up, and I'm going to make sure that that is melted completely before I add in the vanilla mixture that I just mixed, and we're just going to wait until this thickens and it's nice and creamy. I don't use chocolate pudding because I'm going to put chocolate into the custard or the filling that we're using. And when it comes to picking the chocolate, I like to use chocolate that I would normally eat on its own by itself. And if you guys can find this type of Nutella, it's a Turkish dark chocolate Nutella. It is absolutely amazing. It's a hazelnut spread, I should say. It's absolutely amazing. It's so rich. It's so delicious. So what I would recommend is finding a dark chocolate and a milk chocolate and combining and making your own bittersweet chocolate to put into the custard. So you can do Nutella and a dark chocolate. You can do this dark chocolate Nutella cream or this hazelnut cream and a milk chocolate. That's what I'm doing in this recipe, but you can do whatever you'd like. You can add some milk chocolate into it as well. Again, remember to use a chocolate that you'd normally eat on its own, something creamy and rich, because that's kind of the whole purpose of this chocolate filling, is for it to be decadent and delicious. This is like the star of the show. So what I do is I add some of the cream and some of the chocolate into the vanilla pudding. I mix it together. I take a spoon, I try it, and then I see if I need any more, and I determined that I did. And I also don't add a lot of sugar into the vanilla mix because the chocolate is already sweet enough and you don't want to overdo it. So what I recommend is trying it with the chocolate. If you think that it's not too sweet, then go ahead and add some powdered sugar. Don't add regular sugar. You're going to add powdered sugar into the mix. And then you can just taste it again, see if you need more chocolate, if you need more sugar, it's up to you. I don't like my desserts to be overly sweet. I like to eat it and not, need to chug a glass of water at the end. I like it to be decadent. I like to enjoy. I don't like that overpowering sugar effect into desserts. So that's why I don't add a lot of sugar. But you want to keep trying your fill, your custard, and making sure that it tastes perfect to your liking. After you've tasted your custard and you make sure that it's perfect for your liking, you're going to add your grounded up crackers or your cookies, and then you're going to mix that up and you're going to let it sit for at least 20 minutes for the cookie to absorb any liquids in the mix. A little birdie told me that the East Coast finally has these Rozen Kore, so these cookie sheets, which is perfect because I've been dying to make this recipe for you guys. I make it only once a year because they're so addicting that you will literally eat the whole thing in one sitting if you can. So you can see they're really thin, really easy to use. You can fill them with just about anything. This is just one of the many ways that I make them. So I start off, I'm putting 2 spoonfuls here, but don't use that much. You'll see that I'm going to be scraping it off in the end. And then you're just going to make sure that you go around the whole thing and you're just smothering that layer of cookie with your filling. So you want to make sure every little bit of that is covered with the filling. And then you guys can see here, I'm actually just taking any of the excess and just dragging it on the bottom, and then I'm going to scoop that off and I'm going to use it for the other layer. You just want a nice thin layer. You don't want to go too crazy with the filling because you want to make sure that you have enough for all 10 of the pieces. Once you fill it up, you're then going to take something very heavy. I'm using my cutting board, as you can see here. You're going to press it on top and you're going to let it sit in the fridge overnight. So the next day I want to get my glaze ready, my chocolate glaze. This is the chocolate that I use. It's a bittersweet cooking chocolate and I absolutely love it. It's not like traditional American chocolate, bittersweet chocolate where it's overly sweet. This one has a perfect taste to it. I absolutely love using it. So you can use this one, you can use any type of bittersweet chocolate that you have, and we're just going to make the glaze. It's super simple. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to melt some chocolate. I have 300 grams of chocolate with some oil, and I'm going to mix that until everything is well combined and beautiful. And then I'm going to show you guys the next day the cake that we just made. Look how soft it is. So I'm pressing it in. It's like a microfiber pillow, so soft. It bounces back up. We're just going to take that chocolate that we just made, that glaze. We're going to pour it over. You're going to see that the sides of the cake, the chocolate is all seeping out. What I'm doing is I'm just taking my tilted spatula, and I'm just going and making sure that every single inch of this cake is covered with chocolate. And all that chocolate that's melted and is on the sides, that's on the pan, you can actually scrape that up once this cools down, and you can put it in the freezer, and next time you make a cake, you can use that as a glaze on top. And while my chocolate's still wet, I did a little design with white chocolate. That's totally optional, but you can also add like sprinkles on top or some grated white chocolate. It's up to you. So I let this sit in my fridge until the chocolate has hardened. It took like roughly an hour, 2 hours. And then what I do is I take a knife and I go along the side of the cake right there. So I'm cutting in between the chocolate that's on the pan and my actual cake, only because then when we go to cut it, I don't want any of the chocolate on the cake to disappear or to stay on the pan. And then I use a really big knife, a really long knife, and I just kind of divide how I'm going to cut it. And then I cut it into individual cubes. You can cut it any way you want though. And look at that, absolutely amazing. It looks like we put so much effort into this cake, but you really don't put that much in. Doesn't really require a lot of ingredients. It's so good. Cut it up into little squares, cut it up into big squares, do whatever you want. I'm telling you, you have to try this recipe. It is so good. Look at the inside. It's like soft, it's moist, it's decadent, it's rich with that glaze on top. Absolutely wonderful. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please be sure to subscribe to my channel, like this video, add me on Instagram, and I will see you guys next time.